Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Yumiko Hayashi, and I'm the Director of Product Marketing here at MediaValet. I am very excited to spend the next half hour with you talking about something that's very close to my heart, introducing you to MediaValet and how we work with teams across various industries, transforming the way they manage and leverage their online digital content. Before we dive in, let me quickly go through some housekeeping items. We will spend about 20 to 25 minutes walking through the presentation, the MediaValet story together, and then I will save the last 5 to 10 minutes for some questions. So please feel free to drop them in the chat. My colleagues monitoring in the background will make sure that they get them over to me. And of course, we are recording today's session. You will receive a link to the recording in an email afterward. And if you'd like to revisit anything or share it with your team, that is highly encouraged. And of course, if we run out of time, I will make sure to get you some answers via email as well. All right, so we have lots to cover today, so let's get started. All right, growth goals and chaos reality. Let's start with something I know we all relate to. Growth is absolutely the North Star for every organization nowadays. We're all chasing it. We're all being told to deliver. And honestly, it's what gets us excited every day. Here's the thing though, growth always means more campaigns, more formats, more channels to manage. Just the latest Forrester report says that the average marketer today is juggling about 12 different distribution channels. Literally, that's double of what we were managing just a few years ago. And this is where it all gets kind of tricky. While we're being asked to do more and create more, we're also being told do more with less. Sound familiar? This contradiction has turned what should be our content operations engine into the biggest bottleneck in our marketing engine. And that's exactly what we're here to talk about today. The cost of chaos. So what does this chaos actually look like when we put numbers to it? The statistics are quite sobering, and there's a lot here. I'm not going to read through all of them, but I'll bet that some of them resonate with you and your daily experiences. Starting on the left, the big numbers here, there's the 70% of the assets that your team creates go completely unused because teams either can't find them or worse, they don't trust them. They're not sure if what they're looking at is the latest version or the latest approved version, right? So if you think about that, 70%, that means 7 out of 10 assets that your team create go unused. Teams are wasting a day and a half every single week just searching and managing requests for files. That's nearly 20% of their work week spent hunting instead of creating. So the bottom line here is that chaos isn't just frustrating or annoying, it's genuinely expensive and risky for our business. So what is the path forward? This is the million-dollar question on our minds, right? How can teams regain control and build for scalable growth? Let's be honest, the last thing any of us needs is another platform to learn, another login to remember, another system that creates more work instead of solving our problems. The reality is that we need to solve 3 fundamental challenges, and I've got them here noted on this slide, is how do we break free from all of this chaos? First, we need to make content accessible and actionable across all teams, right? Whether it's helping or saving time looking for things, saving times recreating things that may already exist, right? Ensuring that the right people can find and use the right assets at the right time. Our second challenge here is we need to streamline asset workflows from creation to delivery so that content moves efficiently through your organization without getting stuck in those bottlenecks and approval limbos. And our third challenge here on the screen is that we need to ensure that brand consistency, while moving fast, shouldn't be hindered, right? So because speed shouldn't come at the expense of quality or brand integrity. So you might be joining us at the start of your DAM journey, or you may possibly have started already and have been unsuccessful. You may be using general cloud storage solutions out there. I get it. That seems like the logical first step, right? We're talking about the Dropboxes, the Boxes, the SharePoints, the Google Drives of the world. While these solutions are great for file storage, they were never built for the complex, creative, brand critical work that marketing creative teams do nowadays. There's no real metadata. There's no governance capabilities. There's no meaningful integrations with the tools you actually use to get your work done today. So they store your files safely and securely, but they don't move your work forward. And that is this crucial distinction that I really want to get that point across. So instead of looking at what hasn't been working, or even just the option of not doing anything or staying with the status quo, let me paint this picture of what success actually could look like. So I'm going to pause here for a little bit and remember these 3 pillars because I will bring them back up again. All right, so here we are, MediaValet. In a perfect world, marketing teams would be able to fight these 3 challenges that we just had on that slide with these superpowers. So first, they would be able to discover any asset within seconds in the centralized asset library. No more endless folder diving, no more, I know it's here somewhere, I forgot what it was called, but I know it's here, and no more recreating something that already exists, right? So it's being able to find things quickly and efficiently. The second box here is that second challenge that we were facing is how do we streamline this content from creation to delivery, right? So this includes version controls, usage tracking, integrating the review and approval processes. So anything from initial concept to final distribution, everything should and would flow seamlessly without these bottlenecks, delays, and confusion about processes. And third, we would be able to maintain control and governance, right, in this perfect world, even as they scale. So growth doesn't mean more chaos. It would mean organized, efficient expansion where brand standards stay intact and compliance is automatic. So let me take you in on sort of the orchestration of it all, right? Remember that word as I'm going to use that analogy quite a bit. So I like to think of us, MediaValet, the DAM, as your conductor of the orchestra, right? So just like a conductor brings all the different instruments and performers to create one seamless orchestra, MediaValet ingests your files over here on the left and connects them to your planning tools. So under work management here, your Asanas, your Monday.coms, your Rikes, right? It also connects your creative applications. So here, your Adobe Creative Suite, your Figma, these are just examples, and your review and approval processes and workflows through templating and proofing. Underneath the DAM, we've got your distribution channels. These are ones that you are already very familiar with. And then content experiences. So you may be wondering, what is a content experience? So this is what we call our experience portals. This is where our users take the content that they have created and they're going to create and curate tailored experiences to showcase to both internal and external audiences. So these sometimes are called what you may know as portals, right? There's all kinds of use cases for these. There's brand guideline portals, employee training portals, sales enablement portals, partner portals. The use cases are really endless. You could even use them as event pages, right? So we're just not another piece of software here. What I really want to express is that the DAM, MediaValet, we are the central nervous system that makes all of these tools work together, come together, and be better together. So going back to that orchestra analogy, the DAM is really your conductor, your maestro. All right, stay with me here. All right, so now let's take a deeper dive into some of our core capabilities. I promise I'm not going to go through every single feature because there is a lot, but we're going to start and remember those 3 challenges, those pillars that I discussed earlier. So we're going to start with discovery, finding the right asset quickly and efficiently, right? So it shouldn't feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. And sometimes, let's face it, with those cloud storage systems, sometimes it is, right? If you don't know the right keyword or the correct file name, it's really hard to find what you're looking for. So with MediaValet, our AI-powered auto tagging and recognition capabilities automatically index colors within your assets, objects, faces, text, even spoken words. So every file is ready to surface itself the moment you need it. This means your team spend less time manually tagging, and also it means more time for creating. So we've built really quick, lightning quick speed search and filters around a single always on search bar. So there's only one search bar, and if you have taken a peek at our dashboard, it's front and center in the middle of your screen. So it's always there, and it's always ready to go with custom attributes that zero in on the perfect asset. Whether you have 100 files or millions of files, the search experience feels intuitive and natural. So you don't have to learn a new language there. So one of my favorite features is what I call the describe it and find it smart image search. You can literally type things like sunset over a city skyline in any language and let AI fetch and match and find that asset. There's no manual metadata needed. So even if those words are not in your metadata, chances are you'll be able to find maybe an image or a video that shows a sunset over a city skyline. So it's like having this conversation with your asset library. And for video and audio content, you'll see on the screen here a sample, a video of an astronaut off into space. It's a very cool video, actually. Is our intelligence capabilities. They provide instant transcripts to your videos, multilingual subtitles, and frame-level keyword search that turns your entire media library into really searchable gold. So you'll see on the screen here, we've got faces that show up in the video, various topics. We also have scenes that have been picked out. Next, how do we tackle that second challenge, right? Streamlining all the content that you've put your hard working hours into. So orchestrating creation to delivery, right? So that analogy of bringing it all together. So discovery is just the beginning. The real magic happens when we streamline your entire creation to delivery workflow. So our self-serve on-brand production capabilities include templating, proofing, and collections that let any team member create and review and organize assets without bottlenecking your designers. I don't know about you, but I haven't yet met a team where they've told me that their designers have extra time or spare time on their hands. 99.999% of the time, their plates are full. So with templating, with proofing, streamlining all those processes within the DAM, this really democratizes content creation while maintaining brand standards. Another great feature we have is CDN linking. So CDN stands for Content Delivery Network Links, and this provides a true publish once delivery power. So when you update an asset in MediaValet, it refreshes everywhere the CDN link is embedded. So this keeps your websites and campaigns in perfect sync, and it really delivers fast performance for your audiences. So if I can give you an example, let's say someone on your leadership team has changed and you need to replace the person who has left with the new person that is put in place, or the new person that has been hired. So with CDN linking, you can find all the instances where the link has been embedded, and updating once in the DAM will change it everywhere that link is embedded. So not only are you saving that time that you would manually be changing those images everywhere that person is featured, but you are also making sure that all your assets and you're covering all your bases, right? And the third point here, experience portals. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but these are really neat. So I want to spend some time on our experience portals. So Our experience portals are a secure a way to share and it lets you spin up multimedia experiences or one-off portals that can really educate, entertain your audiences, whether it's partners, vendors, regional teams, and clients, while maintaining complete control over what they can and what they can see and access. So it's brand protection and user experience working together. We have the brand management experts on our team to help you with that. And finally, real-time collaboration and tracking capabilities. This includes comment threads, version comparisons, and audit trails that keep everyone aligned from first draft to final launch. So there's no more wondering if you're looking at the latest version or if feedback got lost in an email chain somewhere. We all know what we're talking about there. All right, so going into that third challenge is control and govern, right? Protecting your brand and intellectual property. So, with great power requires great responsibility, as they say, especially when it comes to your assets. Our granular permissions and MFA, or multi-factor authentication, combined with single sign-on capabilities, ensure that only the right users can view, edit, and distribute your assets. Category level permissions means you can also get as specific as your security requirements demand. Our second point here is dynamic watermarking and rights management. So this feature includes configurable watermarks plus expiry dates on your assets and usage rules that safeguard brand integrity everywhere your assets travel. Dashboards and analytics, there's a little sneak peek there, but they help you visualize adoption patterns. You pinpoint your top performing assets, improve ROI with both asset level and user level insights. So you'll finally have the data that you need to make those strategic content decisions. And also, when questions arise, right, you'll have some answers. All right. So that's a little bit of the how we solve these challenges. And I've covered a lot of these features very quickly, and this really isn't meant to be a comprehensive demo. So if you have further questions or you want to see more, please feel free to reach out to us. Any of our team members would be happy to give you a demo. So you've seen what we can do. Let me show you what really makes MediaValet stick with our customers, right? It all comes down to two critical factors that work together. First, there's that balance between depth and ease, right? So looking at the capabilities and service down at the bottom there against complexity, right? Up going on the y-axis. Our solution was really built for adoption. So I don't really need you to try to analyze this matrix too carefully, but I really want you to narrow in and focus on that blue high adoption zone, right? So with MediaValet, you get a powerful feature set and an intuitive user interface, right? And that seesaw should stay level, so there should be no trade-offs needed. There's too many solutions in the market really force users to choose between power and usability, but we really refuse to make our customers make that choice. There are some awards that we're very proud of there as well on the side of the screen, but I'm going to take you over to the next slide. How we serve our real customers. So we provide vendor expertise and support that's proven over time, right? We are DAM only focus, and we have the numbers to prove it. So 95% of our customers achieve ROI within the first year, and we have a satisfaction rate of 98% that we are really proud of. And one of the main reasons for that is not only our easy to use, easy to adopt interface, but also it's the team that works behind it, right? So with MediaValet, you get that dedicated customer success manager, and it's really our onboarding process that really has tried and we've tested it over the time and has been super successful. So you'll see here, we average at about 3 months is our average to go live time. All right, so now a little bit of story time. I don't want to go through features and metrics too much, but let me share a success story that brings everything to life. Music Tribe is a $2 billion powerhouse in the audio industry with 12 global brands. They operate across 134 countries with teams in 13 locations. So think about that for a minute, 134 countries. So even with all that success, Music Tribe came to us drowning in content chaos. They were juggling multiple platforms, Adobe AEM, SharePoint, network attached systems, Confluence, those are just to name a few. This resulted in scattered storage and versioning nightmares across their 11 global brands. There's a little quote here on top of the picture, but as Jen Tan, their president and creative director, said, as our asset volume grew, so did the chaos. We knew we needed a centralized system that could support our global team and speed up workflows. Sound familiar? So again, back to that scalable system, right? MediaValet became their single source of truth, right? Final assets were stored, tagged, and shared through MediaValet's centralized library. And on the distribution side, portals were created to enable fast, controlled asset sharing with both internal and external stakeholders. And CDN links, remember those, were leveraged across brand websites, community platforms, portals, and CMS systems. So the results really speak for themselves, and I don't want to speed through them, but they're all at the bottom of the slide there. So we're looking at 70% faster asset retrieval rate, 40% faster campaign creation, and 80% faster branded asset delivery. They're now managing assets for over 11 brands from one single platform, right? And serving 134 countries seamlessly. We have a quote from one of their users that says, with MediaValet, we no longer waste time digging for files or sending assets through email chains. We've simplified everything from production to publishing. I love that. So I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds great, Yumiko, but will my team actually be using it, right? Are they really going to adopt? It's honestly one of the most common concerns we hear, and it's completely valid. We've all been burnt by software that promises to make our lives easier, but end up kind of gathering digital dust, right? So here's the thing. We've designed our platform from the ground up for user adoption. That means intuitive navigation that feels familiar from day one, a modern interface that people actually enjoy using, and functionality that solves real problems in your daily workflow. Our support model, which is what you see on the screen here, is specifically designed to get your team comfortable and confident quickly. Remember, we average at 3 months, right, to go live time. We don't just hand you the keys and wish you good luck, right? Our award-winning team works alongside you to ensure everyone understands how MediaValet fits into their role and into your current workflows. So remember how we talked about DAMs not being projects, right? There's no start and finish date. They are programs that evolve. And as your DAM evolves, as your organization evolves, we partner with you to help support that growth every step of the way. So you'll see this white arrow on your screen. It really should go off the screen, right? It's a continuous arrow. It's a continuous journey. As long as you're with us, we stay on that journey with you. That green box at the very end where it says additional use cases or maybe additional user scenarios, this is where we look at additional use cases. Once we get you set up, and your MediaValet becomes your single source of truth. We integrate all your creative workflows that you use currently in place. And those additional use cases are going to come up, right? They're going to evolve as your business evolves. And your dedicated support teams will work with you regularly through it all. Of course, that pink box, it's not a start and stop as well, right? It's an ongoing, right? We take this into consideration throughout the entire process, right? Brand integrity is hugely important. Brand management, brand governance teams at MediaValet will also help you along the way. All right, so just being conscious of time, that is the last slide I have for you. I'd love to open up the Q&A box. Let me just see what I can pull from here. I know we've covered a lot of ground, and I'm sure you have specific questions let's see here. All right, our first question. How long does implementation typically take, and what does the onboarding process look like? All right, that's a great question. Most customers are up and running an average of 3 months. Some shorter. It really depends on how complex your workflows are, but you'll work with a dedicated implementation specialist who handles everything from data migration to training, and then plus you'll get an ongoing support with a dedicated customer success manager. Our goal really is to hit that 98% satisfaction rate within the first 3 months every single time, right? So no matter how big the team, we are really committed to that. All right, second question. What kind of ROI can we expect, and how do you measure success? Right, I'm not sure I will be able to answer that all within the 1 or 2 minutes, but I believe I had a slide on it. ROI, I believe it was 95% of our customers see ROI within the first year, and it comes in various ways, right? So ROI comes from time savings on asset discovery, reduced recreation costs. So remember that, the time and effort of recreating something that may already exist, right? Faster campaign delivery and improved brand consistency is something that we also like to measure on. So we help you establish those baseline metrics during implementation, and we track improvements in search time, approval cycles, campaign velocity, and I mentioned this earlier in one of our slides, but we do have built-in reporting within your DAM. So that is both asset level and user level. So you'll be able to get a lot of neat insights there as well. All right. So I am getting warnings that I do need to wrap this up. And I promise that we will get to the other questions via the email. But I do want to give kind of a bit of a closer here. As we wrap up, I wanted to say thank you for spending the time with me today. If the challenges that I've discussed on those 3 challenges that we discussed on that slide, if they resonate with you at all with what you're experiencing at your organization, please feel free to reach out. We would love to continue this conversation with you. You can click the book a demo button on our website, MediaValet.com, or feel free to reach out to any of us directly here at MediaValet. We're not here to give you a hard sell, right? We're here to understand your specific challenges and explore whether MediaValet might be the right solution and fit for you. So thanks again for joining us. I promise to tackle the remaining questions, and have a wonderful rest of your day.